I'm Gabe.
And here are the announcements for the week of February 28th. Miss Macias would like to give a shout out to all the students that have been completing their LPAC assessments in East 7. You have done a great job being respectful and responsible. Keep up the good work.
George Perry Floyd Jr. was born on October 14, 1973. George Floyd was murdered on May 25th of 2020. He was an African American man who was murdered by a police officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. George Perry Floyd Jr.'s murder sparked a worldwide movement of protests and marches.
So how did George Floyd impact the world?
I think that the murder of George Floyd impacts the world by bringing more awareness to what's going on to people who weren't necessarily paying attention before to what's going on with Black people in America regarding the police and just like systemic racism.
Okay, thank you. So what's your name?
Malachi.
Hello, Malachi. I'm going to be asking you a question. How did George Floyd's death impact the world?
Everybody's cars was flipped over and everybody got their windows busted out, and there was so many riots that I had to stay in the house.
Okay, thank you. Hello, what's your name?
Dixon.
Hello, Dixon. I'm going to be asking you a question. How did George Floyd's death impact the world?
Well, first there's a lot of riots and a lot of social media posts. And I used to live downtown San Jose where most of the riots were, so I would hear them at night and stuff. It was pretty scary.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to be asking you a question. How did George Floyd's death impact the world?
So I think it impacted the world, kind of opened our eyes to see that there's still a lot of things that need to be worked on and changed. And so it angered people to see it happening in 2022, I believe, 21. And so just kind of keeping everybody aware of all the racism and things around us still.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm going to be doing the history of Harriet Tubman and how she was very influential. Harriet Tubman was born as Aramida Ross in 1822. Her exact birthday is unknown. She is most famous for being a spy for the U.S. Army and to help slaves escape, called the Underground Railroad. She lived a pretty long life. However, in 1913, she passed away from pneumonia, and her legacy still lives on. Schools still teach about her, and we still know about her to this day. There have been things named about her, and even some proposals to put her on the $20 bill. They proposed it in 2016 and 2017, but ultimately canceled it. In 2021, the Biden administration decided that it would be good to try to put her on the $20 bill. And that is all. Thank you for watching.
Historians will note this hour at the White House. In a Rose Garden ceremony, a 58-year-old great-grandson of a slave is nominated by President Johnson to be a Supreme Court justice. He is Solicitor General Thurgood Marshall, acknowledged the best-known Negro lawyer of the century. The president also calls his nominee best qualified.
I have just talked to the Chief Justice and informed him that I shall send to the Senate this afternoon the nomination of Mr. Thurgood Marshall, Solicitor General, to the position of Associate Justice, Supreme Court, made vacant by the resignation of Justice Tom C. Clark of Texas.
Thus, the highest court in the land, with the vacancy owing to the stepping down of Justice Clark, has named to its august body Thurgood Marshall, the first of his race.
The Alum Rock March Madness tournament is this week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at James Lick. Come and support your Trojan boys and girls basketball teams.
Place it ready for your lunch. This is the area that we also need to prepare. We have a little starch room. We put all the stuff that we need for you guys. Go. Sorry. When we watch our class. Freezers, oven. And this is our walking. When we have everything ready, and we prepare the stuff. And it's super cold up there. So here is basically everything. This is our walking. We want fruit. And then we also use this for the elementary. And this is our freezer. It's a walking freezer so you can sleep. It's cold. You don't want to go inside. Okay?
Please be careful with your Chromebooks. A broken screen costs $100. If you destroy the keys, these are harder to replace. We can try, but if they cannot be fixed, you will be charged $350 for the replacement of the entire Chromebook. A lost charger is $35. These fees must be clear before you can participate in field trips or graduation. If you have keys that are broken or missing, please come to D6 to see if they can be fixed.
All right, my name is Andy. I'm working with Heaven, and because recently the World Cup just ended and the Super Bowl's about to begin, we'd like to ask, what's better, football or the original football, aka soccer?
Balls of foot. I'm here with Leo. Soccer or football?
Soccer.
Football or soccer?
Basketball.
All right, what's your name?
Nicholas.
All right, what do you like more, football or soccer?
Soccer.
All right, what's your name?
Jeremiah.
All right, what do you like more, football or soccer?
Football. It's too easy, man. It's too easy.
Football or soccer?
Soccer.
All right, what's your name?
Brandon.
Football or soccer?
Football.
All right, thank you.
Football or soccer?
Soccer.
Football or soccer?
Soccer.
I'm here with
Nathan.
football or soccer?
Soccer.
All right, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, so what do you like more, football or soccer?
Soccer.
Okay. So what do you like more, football or soccer?
Soccer all the way.
All right, what's your name?
Jeffrey.
All right, what do you like more, soccer or football?
Soccer, no debate.
Football or soccer?
Soccer.
Soccer or football?
Football.
Wait, want to be interviewed? Yeah. You got more.
Football or soccer?
Right now?
Yeah.
Football!
Christian.
Who do you think's gonna win the Champions League this year?
Borussia Dortmund.
All right, thank you. Am I here with Hugo? Who do you think's gonna win the Champions League this year?
PSG.
All right, but who am I here with?
Eric.
Who do you think's gonna win the Champions League? Who am I here with?
Miguel.
Who do you think's gonna win the Champions League this year?
Man City.
All right, thank you. Who am I here with?
There are minimum days on Friday and Monday, March 3rd and March 6th. We get out of school at 1:40 on those dates. The trimester is coming to an end, so make sure that you get all your work in.
Please make sure that you do the sonograph every Wednesday in your advisory. Your teacher will responding to you to make sure to log in to sonograph at some point during the advisory or week to check your feedback.
What's your favorite TV show?
The Walking Dead.
Wow. That's cool. What's your favorite TV show?
It's Carlos.
Alright. For a TV show.
Everybody needs Chris.
Alright. What's your favorite TV show?
SpongeBob.
Alright. What's your favorite TV show?
So I really like Emily in Paris.
What's your favorite TV show?
SpongeBob.
Alright. What's your favorite TV show?
Right now, current shows going on, I think it's Yellowstone.
Alright. What's your favorite TV show?
Peppa Pig.
Alright. What's your favorite TV show?
No.
Alright.
Coming back or?
Recording now.
I don't think they heard the knock.
Yeah. What's your favorite TV show? What's your favorite TV show?
Cat.
Hello Shepherd, today we're in the Colosseum in Rome, one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. This was built between 69 and 80 AD. So a couple years after the eruption of Mount Vesuvius buried Pompeii, they built this. It was inaugurated in 880 AD, and it's pretty impressive, one of the 7 wonders of the world, but it's also kind of sad that we are kind of revering a place that basically tortured and killed people. In 1 year, in 107 AD, they had a celebration for 120 days, and there were 10,000 gladiators and 11,000 animals that were killed in the Colosseum. So kind of a place of death, really. But if you look around, it's pretty impressive. A lot of it has been destroyed because people, like all other places, steal the rocks to build their houses and churches and all that stuff. But what remains gives you an idea of what it must have been like a modern football stadium with 60,000 people in it. Hello Shepherd, today we're in St. Peter's Basilica. St. Peter was one of the 12 apostles, and around 30 AD he founded the church. He's considered to be the first pope of the Roman Catholic Church. He was also the longest reigning pope. He lasted about 34 years until his death. He did not end pleasantly. He was crucified upside down by the Emperor Nero, the Roman emperor, but he is given credit with establishing the church and getting it on its feet. So if you look, the church is very different than some of the mosques that we saw in Istanbul and Turkey. It's a lot more opulent, and there's artwork and statues and crosses all over. So a very different feel than other churches. Look around, it's just gold and artwork and statues, and it's very impressive, a little bit overwhelming.
Okay, I wish I was taught this way of finding the greatest common factor when I was in elementary school. It's called the Euclidean algorithm. Before I show the pen and paper version, here's the tactile version. Say that I want to find the greatest common factor of 8 and 20. What we do is take off the difference and compare it to one of the equal stacks. And repeat. Take off the difference and compare it to one of the equal stacks. Take off the difference and compare it to one of the equal stacks. And when there's no difference, we're done. So the greatest common factor of 8 and 20 is 4. Now let's see the pen and paper version. We put the larger number on the left and the smaller number on the right. And we ask ourselves, how many 8s fit into 20 without going over? 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 4 would add to 20. So we write a 4 here. Then we bring these two numbers down and repeat the process. And we ask ourselves, how many 4s go into 8? 2. And 8 plus what equals 8? 0. And with the Euclidean algorithm, the last non-zero remainder is our GCF. So do you see a connection between the tactile version and the pen and paper version? Now what's great about the Euclidean algorithm is that it works really well with larger numbers. For example, I can find the greatest common factor of 120 and 528 in just a couple steps. So if you haven't tried the Euclidean algorithm yet, I strongly recommend it. And there's another way of finding the greatest common factor that I really love, and that's going to be in one of my next videos.
To check your feedback. Thank you for listening to this week's announcements. I am Gabe.
And I am Eric, and we are signing off.